blessed ones of the nations of the world. Thus is your brother Dan Moses, or say your Sakodi of TRC, Ghana, coming to you with a continuation of our expose testimony, New World Disorder. That's going to be expose part 118. Blessed ones, before we begin, we want to welcome each other by saying Akwaba, Ale, Sahalen, Shagetan, welcome. Nganjoni Benvindo, you are welcome. Kuso, Diwo, to San Lucenio, Okukulaba, Mauya, Mingalaba, Boye, Malamu, Karibu, Ekabo, no, O Sano, Dezua, Enquam de Hena, Mitas, Duboro, Pezalovat, Bine Ivinit, Barigalus, Vita Ichi, Aibon, Dobridoya, Velcome, Estan, Hozut, Walang Aruma, Bienvenido, Namaste, Suagetam, Kush, Amadid, Baruch, Haba, Marhaba, Wanyong Haminida, Wanying Nejeko, Anime Nejeko, Wezolo, Novio, Mia, Wezo, Akwaba to the program. Testimony New World Disorder, Testimony New World Disorder, which is the program through which we get to know what is happening to Ghana, America, humanity, and the nations of the world in these times of global deception, delusion, and willful lies that are made up by some of the very people that we trust to be there for humanity and the nations of the world, and yet have become the very people that are dealing with us by willful lies, deception, and delusion, having brought us into this total global helplessness. But we are guided by the truth that the ulterior agenda that they are pursuing, for which reason the nations of the world is in this helpless state, is an agenda to come after your soul, to take over your soul, my soul, the souls of humanity and the nations. That is what they are doing. Every other thing you are seeing in your nation, whether the Russia, Ukraine, noise, diversionary tactics, accusation of China, they are all wings of it. So you are in a moment to make a decision as to whether you let the soul takers take over your soul and lead you to damnation, or you let God, the maker of your soul, take over your soul and lead you to glory in eternity in the kingdom of heaven. Christ Jesus is my Lord, and to him belongs my soul, and I gladly want to commend him to you. As for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. God bless you. We are strengthened for the fact that by this exposés as well, through this channel, we are as well get to receive some divine guide, divine direction, divine insight that we know exactly what to do in these times of global unthinkable evil, which kind has never been in the history of the world, unfolding in our very eyes. Akwaba to the program, Testimony New World Disorder. Blessed ones, you can see that I have grown weak. It is due to the ceaseless terrorism and torture, persecution by the new terrorists of Nana Addo Akufo, who are operating this terror cell, using ugly sleep deprivation, torture technique, and depriving of sleep amidst unthinkable mosquito bites in this environment. I have lost so much energy. However, God is good. We shall receive what we have to receive in Akwaba to the program, Testimony New World Disorder. Blessed ones, this very secret terror cell, which is being operated by the government of Nana Addo Akufo, Joe Biden and his administration, for the covering up of the killing of the Ghanaian people, is the same secret terror cell that was used in 2021, for the covering up of the cowardly secret of His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings. 2021. This same terror cell was the one that was used for the agenda. And we remember that I have told Ghana and I've told Mali that in order for Nana Addo Akufo and his government to cover up the operating of this terror cell, to hide it from the Ghanaian people, they have removed one of the crime network members to Mali from where they are networking for the operation of this terror cell and the covering up of the killing of His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings. I hinted Mali about that. It was not long when that was the month of May, June, and I departed from America. I departed from Ghana back to America. Ghana, America, Africa, and the nations of the world. Akufo to the program, Testimony, New World Disorder. Why do we have to know this? As truthful as what I was telling the Ghanaian people in 2021 about the operating of this terror cell by Nana Addo Akufo, even from Mali, as truthful as it was. And that 1 year, when I was in America, Nana Addo Akufo, Ghana Embassy, Washington DC, the coward secret killers in their coward secret terrorism were able to topple the government of Mali. Did you hear that? Under 1 year, after I cautioned Mali about the evil that the government of Akufo is digging behind them, under 1 year, they toppled the Malian government. It didn't end there. Further, we are talking about so-called ECOWAS chairman who sat and colluded with foreign states to topple Africa. After that, they toppled Guinea and they toppled Burkina Faso strategically, just to secure himself, to obtain favor from global states that coup are becoming rampant in Africa, in West Africa, and therefore there is the need. At the same time, you're making Nana Addo Akufo treacherously call for the need to condemn coups. You understand? So he gains global support to secure himself because he wants to rule forever. You understand? He is destroying African states. Ghana, Africa, West Africa, Mali, Guinea, Burkina Faso. This is not the time to talk about the evil deeds of Akufo Addo in toppling your governments. We shall talk about that as the exposés continue. But get it clear that Africa, let's get it clear, it is our own creators among the African people in Ghana who are behind that evil. Akufo to the program, Testimony, New World Disorder. Humanity and the nations of the world. Before I came back to America, it has been known by the Akufo Addo government, the US government, for months that there were for terrorism against me and medical terrorism, seeking to assassinate me, secret poisoning me at the home where I was living in America. I had gotten to the point that I had to leave America. So they knew that months. In advance of that, they had to, as a damage control, remove the same guy whom they removed in 2021 from this terror cell to Mali for their networking and operating of this terror. They removed that guy one more time out of, whether they have taken him to the moon or to Jupiter, it's up to them. But that is how treacherous and diabolical that they are. You understand? Okay, they removed that guy out of the hole, and since I came, the whereabouts of that guy has not been known. But Ghana, Akufo to the program, Testimony, New World Disorder. Humanity, is that all? They were seeking to get me assassinated, murdered in America. They were poisoning me slowly at the home where I lived. Slow poisoning to induce a medical situation that they wanted to reflect in me. But God help me. They could not succeed to used the medical field on 30th of March 2022 to get me terrorized and to kill me finally through capital digestive care of Germantown, Maryland. They failed. Therefore, they knowing that I'm coming to Ghana, quickly transferred their agenda to get me poisoned and killed when I come to Ghana. They transferred it to execute it in Ghana. Ghana, America, humanity are covered to the program testimony. New World Disorder. To get me poisoned easily would require that they must find a way to get me to be eating, buying food from outside, instead of me preparing food for myself at home to secure it, to make sure that I'm eating what I have prepared. So, in order for them to make it easier for them to get me poisoned, Nana Addo Akufo and the cowards plotted that the guy they have removed from the home, the terrorist, they made the wife go into my rented residence. There are several units here. My portion, I gave the keys to a caretaker, a person I considered my brother, to be checked, to coming from Tema and be checking the home and clean up the home for me almost every 2 weeks, sending down money to do that for me. Because they wanted to execute the food poisoning against me, they made the caretaker, that guy's wife, that guy and the wife are caretakers of the home, of the whole apartment unit. They made him unlawfully enter my residence to take my gas stove, telling the person who takes care of my unit, the person I call my brother, that comes from Tema, that because I'm not around, they are using, she's taking the stove to use it. When I come, then she buys another one for me. And as dirty and irresponsible as they are, maintenance culture, they don't have it. So as far back as last year, they have taken the stove, used it and have damaged it without telling me. Not even the person that was taking care of the place for me told me about it. I came to the home, I opened my facility, my residence, and I noticed the stove was not there. So I had to call the person who was taking care of the place for me and ask him the whereabouts of the stove. That was when he told me that this is what the caretaker of the unit wife told him, that he has taken the stove to use it when I come. They buy another one for me. Ghana, Akwaba to the program Testimony New World Disorder. As diabolical as they are in getting me poisoned and making up false evidence against me, as treacherous as they are to me, before I left for US, when that guy was in Mali, he plotted with the wife that the wife should use their 15-year like JSS daughter, like a high school daughter, 16-year girl, to use her as a guise to come to let the mother come tell me that the father was sending money to her regarding her education, but the money will be brought in the evening, so I should give her that money in the evening. When the husband sent the money from Mali, she will come and give the money to me. As kind and perfect-hearted that I wanted to be to them, I gave her the money. Use it to go support your daughter's education, whatever it is. She took that money. Evening came, she never told me anything. The next day, a week, 2 weeks, she never bothered to tell me anything about that until I left. She never bothered to pay the money until I left to US. I went to US and they wanted to get me poisoned when I came down. Went into my bedroom went to my room, took my stove at their own to pave way when I come to be buying food outside, so that Akufo and his terror can track me and get me poisoned easily. Akwa to the program. Testimony, new world. So Ghana, I'm telling us that we know the dangerous situation in which I am, where we are receiving the exposés from. The humanity, Africa, Europe, Asia, America. Let's get this exposé. We know that in America, we have recorded from a secret terror cell. The eyes of Nana Addo Akufo, Dampare, Ursula, also evil minds, Ghanaians, they are watching us live from this secret terror cell as I record this. You understand? But let's go on. Humanity. So after the woman had engaged in that treachery of destroying my stove, I had called the landlord because he owns the units. He lives in another city called Ashama. This is the woman. I called the landlord and I told him, I brought the issue to his attention as to why his caretaker was able to go into my unit. I have a 2-bedroom and a kitchen area. As to why he was able to go there to go take my property without my knowledge and destroy it. I brought it to his attention, and he said he totally condemned that idea and asked me to ask the woman herself for the stove because he doesn't want to get involved. I said okay. So I continue to ask the woman for my stove to be restored to me. She was still insisting that although the stove, she has damaged it, has gotten rusty and stuff, the burner has been rotten. She was insisting that she never used it, and that therefore the person that was taking care of my property was lying. She only took the stove from my place into her room to keep it for me. Total nonsense. I have 2 bedrooms and I have a kitchen where I was keeping my property. Why would you go enter my property, my unit to go take my property and keep it in your room for me? I have a whole lot of stuff in my living room and in my bedroom. Why only the stove that you have to go take? So it's only that they wanted to steal the stove and they were using that as a strategy. So when I have come, financially, they know that I was in a challenge because the work that I did, they were making the criminal sticks in America to refuse getting me paid. So they knew I would have a challenge going to buy even a new stove. So it's an opportunity for them to get me buying food outside, so they get me poisoned as quickly as they could. I kept telling her to get me my stove. So eventually I had to let the landlord had gotten in touch with me and was telling me that I should, she wants to tell me, he's appealing to me to let the woman take the stove. Take the stove? Why? Okay, so after talking to him, I had to, later in the evening, I locked my bedroom door, locked my living room door, leaving the kitchen door, which leads to the entire home. The kitchen door, you enter the kitchen door before you can enter the living room door and the bedroom door. That is how the unit is set up. So I locked the bedroom door, I locked the living room door, and I left the kitchen door. I went to knock on the door of the woman, the wife of the guy, the terror guy who was sent to Togo and had been removed at the time I came. I went to knock on her door. I was going to tell her to go put my to make sure that the stove is put back in my unit because I was going out. By the time I come back, they should put it back in the kitchen. I knocked on the door, and she had a little daughter of, let's say, 12 years, 9, 10 or 12 years, who cannot carry the stove. I knocked on the door, and she came out, and I asked if the mother was there. And I told her, she said, yeah, the mother was there. And I told her to tell the mother that, because the mother is an old lady, I can't tell her to carry the stove and go and put it back. Tell her to tell the mother that I said I'm going out, open the kitchen door. So she should let her elder daughter, who she used as a bait to come rob me, to take money from her, didn't pay. She should let that daughter, because she is like 15 years, she can carry the stove. She should let her, when she comes, you should tell her to take the stove and go put it in the kitchen. I've opened it, I've not locked it, and I left the home. By the time I came back, the stove had been put back there. Ghana, Akufo to the program, testimony, you are for that. Now, let's guess what? The next agenda that they would orchestrate with the landlord at the home was to willfully, because I have taken my stove back, and they are operating the home as a terror cell, in terrorizing me and in covering up the killing of our people. They have to make up a lie as though there is any relationship between me and that 15-year, that that high school girl, to further the willful crime covering agenda in the interest of this US undercover agent. That evil which Nana Addo Akufo was pursuing. They infiltrated the Assemblies of God Church, and they were pursuing that evil agenda, and they killed the Reverend Minister. That agenda was still being orchestrated, and was being pursued by the landlord and the woman that robbed me of my money and stole my stove as well, using their daughter to try to make up a lie. Ghana, after that, guess what? There were the granddaughter of the landlord who lives in this home with the landlord's wife. He has 2 wives. He has wives. The first wife lives, before I came to return to America, they had strategized and made the first wife come to live in this residence. Very smart. Ghana, Akufo to the program, testing you all this one. He's living in this residence as well with her granddaughter. One day I was leaving the home, and he strategically has placed the granddaughter and one other little girl of the home, belonging to one of the tenants, daughter of one of the tenants, and a son, like a 3-4-year-old son of this same woman who had the 9-year-old daughter and the 15-year-old daughter who stole my money, understand, and went to take it. Those 3 children were at the main entrance of the gate. And when I got there, they had orchestrated to tell me that today is the birthday of 2 of them. So like they were announcing their birthday to me. I walked out of the home to a store which is just behind this building, and I bought some cookies and some drinks for them. I wished them happy birthday. I brought them, all the 3 of them, 1 little boy and 2 little girls, who claim they have the same birthday on that day. Bought those gifts for them. I brought them home and I left. When I was coming back home, Ghana, can we guess what? The same gifts that I went to buy for the kids, they made the landlord's wife go buy the same thing and return them to me as the birthday present of the little girl. My portion of the birthday, that is the present from the birthday little girl, granddaughter. When they have had the birthday, that is my portion the same items, cookie, malt, and other drinks that are the same kind. No difference, bought the same thing and returned it to me. Ghana, acquired to the program, testimony, new world is here. Afterwards, humanity and the nations of the world. Guess what they have done? They are so poised and so diabolical to make up willful lies, as though those little children, I have a relationship with those little children. So guess what they will do? Meanwhile, they made their landlord's wife come to live in the first built in the room, which is 2 rooms for mine. Why? Because there are terrorists who operate and execute their sleep deprivation torture technique against me since 2001, and I left for America. They made the wife come live in a room which is more closer to that terrorist, so that the wife would pay a blind eye tactically. You understand? They know what they would get from the killers of the Ghanaian, from the government of Akufo Addo. So she pays a blind eye to that. So it becomes like, if I am complaining, why complain about the sleep deprivation torture technique that they are using the guys of welding with a powerful tool, as though they are while they are cutting metal, they have earphones, they are watching me in my bedroom. If I try to lie down, then they tell them to turn on them. Akufo Addo is very wicked. Dampare nyambe tria ukapa kandaba. I will not kill you people. It is the God of Jerry John Rawlings, the God of the Ghanaian people that you have killed, who will kill you just like you have killed my people. Ghana, acquire to the program testimony, you will disorder. So, humanity. They had strategically come to put the landlord's wife in one of the rooms, more closer to the terrorist, to pay a blind eye. So it becomes like, because when I was, before I left for US, I had brought the attention of the landlord to such terror operations against me. And she was claiming that she has spoken to them to stop their welding operation behind the property, behind the building. But he's just watching a week or 2 if they do not stop working behind his building. He will know what to do. Meanwhile, that was a lie. He made them continue to operate at the place until I left for US. And I came back, and he's still making them engage in terror operations against me. Hoping that I would be complaining about them to him again. I did not. So, God being so good, the room almost directly opposite to mine, there was the tenants who left there, decided to leave the room to relocate. So I asked them, I saw them parking there, so I asked them whether they were moving out. They said yes. So later, I had to tell the landlord the wife of the landlord that I would like to relocate to move my stuff from the other room because of the terror operations of the welders against me in that room. I would like to move a little further away from them. And I spoke to the landlord as well. And they all agreed that, oh, there's no problem about it, I should move to this very place that I'm going. This is not where we recorded the other exclusive, so let's get it. I moved to this current place. Ghana, humanity, acquired to the program, testimony, new world, disorder. I moved here on Monday, just this Monday. And as diabolical as Dampare, Counterparts, Ursula, Akufo, Addo, Joe Biden want to be in using the criminals of this world, exploiting innocent children to make up willful lie as though I have any relationship with those little children. This is what they did. They made the landlord call me. They made the landlord's wife on Monday tell me that she has noticed that there are Nigerians at the home who have been smoking weed. So, and beside that, the caretaker does not respect her as the wife of the landlord because she's been renting property to tenants without telling her. So she wants me to call her husband, who doesn't live here, and tell her over the phone that this is what I have noticed at the home. And then she would call the husband to also repeat it, to let the husband know that what she is saying is true. That is why I've also testified to it. Ghana, can we imagine that? I refuse to do that because God being so good, somebody at the home hinted me that when she was talking to me outside, somebody at the home saw it and hinted to me that that is a ploy. That is the ploy against me. So I didn't call the landlord. Within the matter of a few hours, she made, it was around before 6 a.m. Then around 7:30 a.m. thereabout, she made the husband call me. At the time I was charging my phone, and she sent a voice note to me by WhatsApp that I should call him the landlord. Ghana, I saw the voice note, and I listened to it. He was asking me to call him as the landlord. He has something to discuss with me. Dampare, Akufo, Ursula, the cowards, the tribalists have decided that when I call him, the landlord, he should, in pushing the agenda as though I have a relationship with those little children, they have put words in his mouth to pass it through the phone. They know Joe Biden and his staff, global criminals in America, they are listening. So when I call, he should, let's hear what they made. I called him and he said, Mr. Osei, you know, I'm speaking it, he spoke in Twi, but I want to speak in, you know, you are, all of us at the home, you are our father. This is a man whose wife is way older than me. You understand? In order for them to play the trick that I am you are grown to be engaging in relationship with those little children. This is what. Can we imagine that? To tell me over the phone that you are old, you are a father to all of us, and I can have him as my child. I can produce him as a child. The landlord, he said, I can have him as my child. He said that and then cut off the phone. You understand? He couldn't tell me that this is what the wife had told me, or the people of the home have told me that I have anything to do with any of the children. He cut off. I called him back and he cut the phone. I called him back and cut. Then by their plan, they have told him just say that, and they will blame it on the networking because they know they have had my phone. And Dampare, Counterparts, Ursula, all of them, traitors and tribalists, they were listening and they wanted to set me up. I kept calling. If I call and I called and then he answered the phone. I asked him, what did your wife tell you? I want to hear what your wife tell you. Then he now switched the game. The wife had told him the Nigerians have been smoking weed and now he doesn't know where they work and taking the story. Meanwhile, that 15 years girl, because of hunger and greed for money, that caretaker's wife has given her own daughter out to sexual predation by tenants of the home, to sex her up because of little money that she will get. Can you imagine that? Can Dampare tell us that that is legal to be done to a Ghanaian a minor child? Dampare, oh yeah, this is what the African is telling you. Kandapa, oh yeah, you give a 15-year-old Ghanaian girl to sexual predation at home. In America, for hatred for me, they have given an Ivorian 3 women, one being her own sister of the same father and of same mother, in the same bedroom, take turns, sex her own sister up, push her out, bring another girl, sex her up, the same bedroom. They thought they were being evil to me. The same evil is what they are pursuing here. And they want to talk the nonsense, orchestrate with the landlord that I have something to do with those little children. Little children who would come from school, with her homework, that please help me to do them. And I help that little child outside playing in the sight of all. The little clothes, the kids' clothes that I brought for my family members, I made sure that I have shared it to even children of the tenants. If it is one that anybody will get, I parted it out to them all. Yet, this is how evil that Akufo Addo and Joe Biden are making them engaging because of this undercover agent. I'll go about to the program, Testimony, New World Disorder, Humanity. We shall end here. We shall continue in the next expose. God bless you. And God bless you. Bye bye.